Let's start with some important questions. So, to start with, what is climate change? Climate change refers to a long term shift in global or regional climate patterns. It includes both natural processes and human activities that alter the composition of Earth's atmosphere, leading to changes in temperature, precipitation, and weather patterns. Now, what causes climate change? Now, this climate change is primarily caused by the accumulation of greenhouse gases in Earth's atmosphere. Now, these gases like carbon dioxide, methane gas, nitrous oxide trap heat from the sun, leading to the warming effect known as greenhouse effect. Now, what are greenhouse gases that I talked about? Now, these greenhouse gases are that can absorb and emit infrared radiations, trapping heat in the Earth's atmosphere. The main green gases include carbon dioxide, methane, and nitrogen oxide. Now, how does human activity contribute to climate change? Human activities such as burning fossil fuels, coal, oil, and natural gases, deforestation, industrial processes, and agriculture release large amount of greenhouse gases into the atmosphere, thereby intensifying the greenhouse effect and driving the global warming. Now, what is the difference between climate change and global warming? It's a very good question, right? So global warming is a subset of climate change. Global warming specifically refers to the increase in Earth's average surface temperature, while climate change it encompasses a broader range of climate-related impacts, including changes in precipitation, sea level rise, and extreme weather events. The next question is, what are the consequences of climate change? Now, climate change can lead to a wide range of consequences, including rising sea levels, more frequent, and several heat waves, droughts, floods, disruptions to ecosystems, and shift in agricultural patterns, among others. Now, how does climate change affect weather patterns? Now, to answer this question, climate changes can alter weather patterns by increasing the frequency and intensity of extreme weather events, such as hurricanes, wildfires, heavy rainfalls, making weather patterns more unpredictable. Now, what is the Paris Agreement? The Paris Agreement is an international treaty adopted in 2015 as a part of United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. Its goal is to limit global warming to well below 2 degrees Celsius, above pre-industrial levels, and to pursue efforts to limit the temperature increase to 1.5 degrees Celsius. Countries that are parties to this agreement commit to reducing greenhouse gas emissions and enhancing the climate resilience. What is the role of carbon dioxide in climate change? Very important question. Now, this carbon dioxide is a major greenhouse gas responsible for significant portion of global warming. It is released primarily through the burning of fossil fuels, and deforestation. Efforts to reduce CO2 emissions are crucial for mitigating the climate change. Now, what is the carbon footprint? A carbon footprint is a measure of the total greenhouse gas emissions, especially CO2, associated with an individual, organization, product, or activity. It quantifies the impact of these emissions on the environment. Now, how does deforestation contribute to climate change? To answer this question, deforestation releases CO2 stored in trees and disrupts this carbon cycle. Trees act as carbon sinks, absorbing CO2 from the atmosphere. When trees are cut down or burned, the stored carbon is released, contributing to the greenhouse gases. The next important question is, what is the role of methane in climate change, right? So to answer this question, methane is a potent greenhouse gas with a much higher heat trapping capacity than CO2 in the short term. It is emitted from sources such as livestock digestion, rice, cultivation, and natural gas productions. How can we mitigate climate change? Mitigating climate change involves reducing greenhouse gas, reducing their emissions through the actions like transitions to renewable energy sources, improving energy efficiency, protecting forests, promoting sustainable agriculture, and adopting clean transportation options. What is climate adaptation? Very important question. Climate adaptation refers to strategies and actions taken to adjust to the changing climate and reduce vulnerability to its impacts. This includes building resilient infrastructures, developing early warning systems, and adjusting agricultural practices, among others. What is the role of renewable energy in combating climate change? Now, this renewable energy source, such as solar, wind, or hydropower, they produce electricity without emitting greenhouse gases. Transition to renewable energy is like, it's a very important key for reducing emissions and addressing the climate change. What is the carbon cycle? The carbon cycle is the natural process by which carbon moves between the atmosphere, ocean, soil, and living organisms. It includes processes like photosynthesis, respiration, decomposition, and combustion, which affect the levels of CO2 in the atmosphere. Now, what is the relation between climate change and ocean acidification? Very important question. Now, the climate change contributes to the ocean acidification by increasing CO2, and this CO2 dissolves in seawater. It forms carbonic acid, leading to lower pH levels and harmful effects on marine ecosystems, particularly on coral, on the aquatic animals. How does climate change affect agriculture? Climate change can disrupt agricultural patterns by temperature variations or precipitation patterns, leading to reduced crop yield, increasing pests and diseases, and food security challenges. Adaptation strategies are essential for sustainable agriculture. The next question is, what is the role of international cooperation in addressing the climate change? This international cooperation is crucial in fight against climate change because climate impacts cross borders. Agreements like Paris Agreement and collaborative efforts among nations are essential for setting emission reduction goals and sharing knowledge and resources. What can individuals do to help combat climate change? Now, individuals can reduce their carbon footprints by conserving energy, using public transport or carpooling, reducing meat consumption, supporting renewable energy, and advocating for climate-friendly policies. Collectively, cohesively, individual actions can certainly make significant differences in mitigating the climate change. So these were some of the important, the basic questions with some basic plausible answers that I have tried to address in this video.